Wise words, yeah.
Still can't say.
So I just want to touch on like concentrates and the shop consensus on where that's going to go. I first want to talk about I guess like the news in the concentrate scene right now. People are getting busted and raided in Seattle for doing concentrates out of their house basically, so I want to make sure that all the shops are on the same page with that. If we get people coming in and asking questions or anything like that, that the employees are saying the right thing and knowing what to say. As far as all the companies that we carry, everything is done in a commercial grade lab, tested, and I mean sales taxes, stuff like that, done right. I don't want people thinking that we're carrying people that are blowing DHO in their backyard or anything like that. So I'm sticking away from companies that are doing that. We're only going to be carrying a few companies as far as DHO is concerned, so I kind of wanted to get your guys' input on that as far as what companies you think we should continue to go forward with and what companies sell, stuff like that. Obviously, we're doing a big push with refined extracted, so I want to make sure that they're probably one of our number one retail oil outlets. So if you guys have any other inputs on oil, I'd like to hear them real quick. If you guys have a couple names of companies that sell very well that you'd like to keep carrying.
Big wax.
So Dave Wax, he stopped making oil.
Sweet.
Because of what I just said. So then, yeah, a lot of people are stopping making oil because they're scared of what's going on right now. They don't want to get arrested and charged with a federal case, basically. Rain City, I think he's stopping too.
Rain City stopped, Naughty stopped, Dake Wax stopped.
People are deleting their Instagrams, Facebooks, they're stopping production.
Superior has all of
Yep.
So for right now, I have Platinum Superior.
You're the vendor, aren't you?
Platinum Superior Refined or something.
Dope Cooks deleted all their stuff.
I saw them yesterday.
That's right, yeah.
But he's gonna start. He said he's gonna do it still on a small scale. But a lot of people are scaling back right now.
Thrive.
Yeah.
He stopped too.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That might be.
Are we still gonna carry Dragon Party?
On that one.
So basically, we're moving a big push with Refine. That's why in the last few weeks I've really upped the orders and the clear and all that. So I really want to get that whole movement going, I suppose, and really inform the patients on the difference between DHO versus clear versus the hash and stuff that we carry.
What's up with Northwest?
Oils.
Yeah, not Northwest Concentrates, which is refined.
Yeah, Northwest Oils. They stopped making oil too.
Okay, I was gonna say if they still are, they're good and they're
Nobody makes
like.
good oil anymore.
I was saying they stopped. They were. I don't know if they were replacing them or whatever.
The hardest thing is just consistency. So basically with them is they lost their extraction artist, and then they just had somebody that wasn't making very good oil, so then they kind of lost their oil program, and now they don't produce it anymore. So if you guys see good oil companies out there that are coming up, let me know, because I do want to carry as much oil as we
What
can.
about
But
Farmer Joe Parker? What is his deal?
yeah, we did carry his oil for a while, but it kind of fluctuated.
I know the price point's a little high for his product.
But I mean, it sold good one time, but then we sat on it for another time.
Well,
So
his consistency was also the Dutch Hawaiian versus the Bubba Kush that he gave us.
yeah, definitely.
So,
So yeah, I guess I'll talk to all the managers too when we have a meeting, but I'd like to get input on what you guys want to start carrying in the stores as far as having consistent product on the shelf, because right now it's kind of just been refined and then platinum here and there, CO2. Yeah, I want to really start getting hash too, so that's a big thing.
Good luck.
At all the shops, the only shop that really carries hash is Aurora. They're carrying like the old school Moroccan.
The cherry pie's banging.
Yeah, the cherry
Yeah,
pie.
Yeah, the cherry pie is consistent in all the
It's
shops.
the only one that I would honestly keep all the time, no matter
That's the only one
what.
I can always.
But I'm talking about Dapple 5-star.
Oh, that would be nice, except nobody really, yeah, we have.
It's hard to keep up with that consistency, so I'm definitely looking for stuff like that because I want to narrow it down to a few key things. I want to have the best of at least every kind of concentrate. We don't really have that
Why
yet.
don't we just started doing it in-house?
In-house?
What 5-star?
Yeah.
Because it's the hardest fucking thing.
And you'd have to deal with the commercial kitchen and.
We're the best.
I know 2 people in the entire state that make good 5-star hash. That's it. I mean, more than anything.
Well, one thing I really want to start pushing to at all the shops a lot harder is the clear.
Washington Butter.
and really just getting the information about that out. And I've heard mixed things when I go around the shops about people trying to explain what it is. So I'd really like you guys to kind of help train the rest of the staff. But a really good way to explain it is it's basically another refined version of BHO oil that's very potent, strips away all the terpene, so they add terpene profile to it. That's why there's different flavors and stuff like that. But it's solvent free, not solventless. There's a difference between that. So I've heard mixed reviews about that too. I walked into the cafe one day and one of the receptionists, not Diane, was trying to explain clear to somebody, and she's like, well, yeah, it's really good oil. It gets you really high. And that's why it's $75 a gram. But that's not a very good way to explain it, or a very logical way to explain it to a patient when they're going to spend that much on a gram of product. So I just want to get all the facts out there. I'm definitely going to have the refined guys come do a meeting probably with the entire staff, maybe store by store if it comes down to that. But on basically how it's broken down, the process, the test results, so you guys can have a better understanding. But that's kind of the new, I think, wave of concentrates where it's going to be heading. Everybody's starting to do that now, so I think we might start to carry a couple different brands of the clear as well. So there's probably like 5 or 6 brands of that going around. So if you guys come across any of that, let me know about that as well. What do you guys have any thoughts on the clear though so far? As far as how it's selling?
I think refined has the best so far.
As far as what's that flavor?
I mean, people like the other ones and stuff. They'll talk like, oh, workshop or this or that. But I'm saying that overall sales and I think performance and having tried them, I like refines the best, and I would rather sell refines. I'm saying if you only were going to sell one.
Yeah.
Are you not
Definitely
into
start
25% terpene?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is I've tasted some, they're like, oh, cool, you made it taste like an otter pop. And it probably has 50% THC in it, so why am I not just
Yeah, so that's the
adding
difference too, is refined, they only add about 1 to 2% terpene versus the other companies that add 3 to 5%. So that's kind of the big difference as far as the flavor is concerned that they do differently.
Well, and I think there are some people that are like, oh, I can make clear concentrate too, and then they're just making something else and calling it clear.
Yeah.
And that's sketchy because if the whole idea behind the clear is that it's solvent free, or that's kind of part of why you're doing it in addition to hooks, not solventless.
Yeah.
Then to call something else that you did with alcohol or whatever clear concentrate, it still has a residual anything in it a little bit. I just don't want us to do that. We can avoid that.
Well, yeah, and that's where the difference gets in play as far as you guys knowing what it is too. So that's important for sure, and that's what that's going to help too when we start getting everything tested. We're going to start getting all the oils tested, all the clear batches, and a lot of different companies through Steep Hill when we start doing that this month.
The difference between solvent-free and solventless. Solventless means there was never solvent used ever in any process of what that would be. So bubble hash, they never use a solvent. It's usually dry ice and screen. And then solventless means there was at one point a solvent used to create it, but they got all of it out. Just in case you have a patient ask you, because that if you can whip that out and be like, oh yeah, the difference between solvent-free and solventless, they're gonna be like, yes. They just, yeah.
It's a good way to upsell too, because people a lot of times, that's why people buy the cartridges CO2 because they feel like it's cleaner, whether it's cut with polyglycol or not. So that's a good way to upsell stuff too, is knowing what's in it, how strong it is, stuff like that. Like the last batch of clear just tested at 96%
Knowledge upsells
THC.
things.
So stuff like that's going to help. And then when we're going to be unraveling our Steep Hill launch, hopefully September. Me and Ed just sat down with the president, so we're going to be getting literally every product tested through them probably once a month. And then we're also going to be getting a Quantican machine where we can do on-site testing for flour, for potency. And it basically, you take 1.5 grams of product, put it in this machine, 90 seconds later it spits out a test result for you through Steep Hill. So it's not in-house testing, it can't be tampered with, anything like that. So we're going to be offering probably different kind of vendor packages if people want to get stuff tested through us as far as flour. We're going to hold events probably at the cafe for stuff like that. and just kind of create a whole new standard with the company as far as getting everything tested and being on the same page with
There you
that.
go. We'll have a contest. Who has the best clear?
Yeah.
And then we'll get all the vendors, get all their stuff tested.
One flour too, we'll do that with the
Top
best
three.
growers.
Well, the Quantican won't be able to test the solvents yet.
Yeah, Quantican only will
the,
test flour.
concentrates, only flours for a few months.
Hey, we can still have a contest. We'll be like, all right, thank you. We'll we'll be right back.
Using my mind to test it.
But yeah, I'd like to get any ideas about any kind of concentrate companies or ideas that you guys have for concentrate companies in particular, because we are kind of getting low on them, and it hasn't really been consistent with what we've been carrying. So, and a lot of it's due to what's been happening with all these raids and stuff that's been going on arrests. People are really scared about making oil now, so they're only going to be doing it if they're doing it right. And there's not too many people doing it right now. So
Whatever happened to high class concentrates?
he started doing a solvent. He
High
starts
class
doing-
is not very far detached from
He does clean extracts,
basically
which is another form of clear.
Yeah, I mean, Nick's good friends with Steve and Kevin. Kevin's the guy who started Captain Johnson.
Most of them.
Makes great oil.
There's like 4 companies that get
That's
involved.
not a music studio. I don't even know if he's like really doing oil.
I kind of want to like
He's doing his
go
high
to
class
one of those
reviews.
classes just to
On paper, all his revenue is not
Those-
coming from
Those
anything cannabis.
scientific oil classes.
That's all right.
Post pictures
The
of
studio
and
is
stuff.
going to be doing well, right?
Yeah, so I don't really have a whole lot more to say, but
I wish you started.
I just want to make sure that we are on the same page with concentrates, know what they are, know what's in them, know how to explain it to a patient in depth, whether it's hash, CO2, clear, whatever it might be, and flavors, consistencies, brands, stuff like that. I mean, obviously, the ones
What about Diamond? Are they still in business? I was just curious.
When I first started in Aurora, we still go to the shop.
really?
Not one of my pretty normally.
Jeremy had like 6 or 7 slots the other day. We brought him in, showed him off.
Didn't let anybody try it.
Well, no, he told me to tell you.
From it, whatever, and
The last one was
Yeah,
just
so
Century
sure it's
Swims.
legit.
no, gross.
But just because
Oh, you
don't
didn't like it?
clean, this
Gross,
doesn't
like,
mean it's
Oh, it shatters.
Well, they've got some stuff, and everything's
Everything's
like,
good.
he's like, yeah.
I wanna know who's saying that.